Hi everybody, happy Friday. Rebecca here, owner of Holy Rustic, and it is finally time to paint our leopard print pumpkin door hanger. We were gonna do this last week, but I did not feel good, and we had to cancel and postpone. So we're fitting it in this week. So the first thing that I've done is draw lines, just using a ruler. So I came up a little over half to draw this top line, and then you want about 2 inches thick, and then just draw your second line. Okay, so there's a couple ways that you can do this. Actually, there's several ways you can paint this because of the plain versus leopard. But I'm going to show you both ways, okay? So the only difference in your kit, if you got the leopard versus the plain pumpkin, is that your pumpkin pieces have the little leopard prints etched onto the wood, okay? If you got the plain pumpkin, they do not have the leopard print on the wood. So that's the only difference. And you can always freehand this as far as following the lines, but one thing that I like to use for lines like this is the green frog tape. So I've tried the blue painter's tape and it just does not work quite as well as the frog tape. So this is my favorite tape for doing lines. And I'm just going to go ahead and tape right over the pencil line that I drew. And I'm taping it on the inside of the line. So right on the inside of the line here. Because I'm going to do my top and bottom colors first. And then we can always use the tape again on the outside of the lines to do this middle strip. Alright, so let me know if you have the Pumpkin BOGO kit, if you've painted it already, or if you're planning on painting it soon. Okay, now that we've got that taped off, we're going to go ahead and do our top color. So in the kits, you get an ivory, I believe, and a brown. So I'm just gonna put my paint directly on here. And I'm just going to go ahead and fill this in. So see, we don't have to worry much about these lines right here because we have it taped off with that amazing frog tape that is really good about keeping the paint from bleeding into that middle section. All right, who's happy it's Friday? It's been a long week. We got some fun stuff planned this weekend, so we're trying to get all caught up on work and orders, which is why we decided to fit this in this morning. Feels kind of weird doing fall kits, but we have started cutting lots of new things for fall. It's so hard to reel it in because fall is our favorite time of year for the DIY crafts and kits and the painting. Pumpkins are so fun. Now, of course, you do not have to use the colors that you get in the kits with the BOGO. You could go rogue and use your own paint colors. There's so many different paint combinations that you could use for this. All right, so the top of that is an ivory. Oops. And then the bottom we did a brown. So I'm just gonna move my pumpkin out of the way here. Grab another brush. That ivory may need a second coat. So we'll see. Let's go here. Hi Marcy, how are you doing? All right, so here is the brown. And this may not be the brown that you got. I just grabbed one. It looks a little bit lighter. I may add some black to it to make it darker. So I like the dark brown with the rose gold. Oh, nothing like a little dog hair in my paint. Anybody have animals whose hair always ends up in everything? All right. Yeah, I think I want this a little darker. I might add some black. We have lots of painting to do today. We've got new classes coming up for fall, and we've got examples we need to make. So it is going to be a busy day of painting, and I will be very messy because I am a messy painter. Yes, pumpkins are exciting, aren't they? Love when pumpkins start coming out. And we've got lots of pumpkins laying around right now for our new kits and things that are going to come out here next week. New month, new kits, new season. Trying to reel in the fall stuff till at least August, right? I could probably start putting it out in about April. Okay, what do we think? That seems a little light, so I'll probably go back over that with a darker. I'm gonna mix some black in with that same brown, so just a little bit of black. I'm gonna darken it up some, and then once that dries, if I can find some black, let's see. Once that dries, I'll go over it again. So I'm gonna switch. Actually, I'm gonna mix enough of the paint that I can cover all my letters with the darker brown and the bottom of that again. So just doing a little mixture. I mix a lot of paint, which is why when we do classes and stuff, I don't usually give exact paint colors because I tend to blend and mix and change and never use the same color twice. So okay, so that is going to be ready for another coat. This one is close to dry, so I'm just going to go ahead and do another coat up here. If we could just get some fall weather going, would be good, huh? We've got some really hot days, and I am ready for cool weather. Not cold, just cool. The kind where you can walk outside with a nice breeze and not start sweating like lately. Alright. Yeah, this is, we got school starting next week too for the kiddos. I know some of them went back this week. I used to be a teacher, so this would be the crunch week before, you know, the calm before the storm. We gotta get ready for all the kids next week. So it's kind of weird every year not to be going back to school. This is my second year, I think, not teaching, maybe third, I don't know. I lose track of time. All the days blend together. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead. See this darker color? I'll go ahead and put that on there. I like that a lot better. I think it'll make the rose gold stand out. I love rose gold, but I don't ever know what to use it on. So I have it, and I always forget to use it. So when I was painting this, I was like, oh, I bet that would be pretty with some ivories and dark browns. Yeah, I feel bad we're doing this BOGO class so late in the month. It's almost time for another one. Be voting on a new BOGO kit for August next week, and then August, I don't know if you saw our sneak peek, but August is also going to be a free gift with kit purchase, and it is super cute. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way. We need this to dry. Then we're going to work on our smaller pieces. Now, you got three, sorry, I've got a frog going on in my throat here. All right, you've got these three little pieces. These are the bottom of the hello letters, and they're super easy to lose. So one of the things that I like to do is just tape them down. So I took off a piece of that frog tape, and I just stuck those three pieces there. That's gonna make it easy to paint. And you could do that with all your letters if you want, but especially the little pieces, it's easy to lose those and they're hard to paint. And yes, Marcy, that is our noisy Bengal cat. Bengals are known to be very vocal animals, and he is no exception. He has his days where he just tends to never shut up. He's just always screaming at us. And he's already had his food, so I don't know what his deal is. All right, I'm getting these ready to paint. So all these hello pieces. Now you want to make sure you have the right side that you're painting. The angled parts of these L's go down because those are the ones that are going to match up with the fall word. And then you want to make sure you're painting the right side. So usually the darker side with the more char, that's usually on the bottom. All right. Where's my O? Here we go. Okay, you can paint these whatever color you wanted. I am going to paint them that dark brown. And I'm going to switch over to a smaller brush, and I just basically go sideways with the brush right along the letter. So I don't paint the sides because they're laser burned and I like the way they look. So I just try to be careful and just touch the very top of the piece of wood. It's up to you if you want to paint the sides or not. I'm going to go ahead and paint the stem of the pumpkin. Yeah, I like this dark brown a lot better. Now these are the stems. I'm going to do that in a deep green. So we'll just work on the fall letters and hello. Yeah, our Bengal cat is named Gizmo, and he is running through the house screaming. And then we have a new kitten that we took in that is super playful, and they pretty much wrestle all day long. So I keep saying I wish I had half of the energy that the little kitten has, because he's very, very energetic. Oh, to be young again, I guess, right? It probably has nothing to do with being a cat. It's just that he's young. No spring chicken here anymore. All right. So these go pretty fast, and with the darker color, we won't have to worry about doing a second coat. I think that's going to cover really well as is. Now I'm going to show you with the pumpkin several ways that you can do this door hanger as soon as I get these letters painted. So I think we probably sold about the same amount as plain versus leopard. There seemed to be a great divide. So about 50-50% of people wanted the leopard print, and the other half wanted the plain pumpkin. When y'all do get these painted, definitely post them in our free craft kit group, because we love to see the variety of colors and creativity. Just be careful with this fall. It is a bit fragile because of the script and the thin wood. So you want to handle with care. this will not be the only pumpkin I paint today. So we're gonna have lots of different colored pumpkins. So I get to experiment with colors today. And then we have a Halloween door hanger class coming up, and they're so cute. I can't wait to get them done. It's going to be at the T-Bar here locally, which is one of my current favorite places, the Fresco T-Bar. If you're local and you haven't been there, oh goodness, you need to go. Good stuff. I'm not even much of a tea drinker normally, but all the different flavors they have and the bursting bobas, if you don't know what that is, I think some people call it bubble tea. Those little bursting fruit balls that they put in the drinks. Oh, so good. I probably would have never tried it, but my kids got obsessed with the boba tea. And after I tried it, I was hooked. Okay, so we have all of these done. Looks like there's a spot here. Just do a little spot touching. All right, I'm using an angled brush, by the way. I'm gonna rinse that and then go ahead and do the green stems. Okay, this is like a almost like an olive, like an English ivy green. I'm not sure which one we sent the kids. I can't remember, but this is the one I grabbed, so I'm just gonna use this. It's a deep like olive almost. These would be good to tape down too. They're so small. So we're on the last 2 days of July, right? Yes, I think it's the 29th, 30th maybe. Which means that it's the last month we're shipping the strawberry kit for, last 2 days we're shipping the strawberry kit for the Tiered Tray Club. And because it's the first month, we are still sending a founding member bonus. And it is an interchangeable piece for your tiered tray. So every month you're a member, you'll get a new piece for that interchangeable. So if you think you might be interested in that tiered tray club, now's the time to join so you don't miss out on that interchangeable piece, because only the founding members of July will be getting those pieces. Okay, so I'm going to pop this out, and this was one that did not cut correctly, so I may regret using this. I like to use the pieces that are not suitable for kits I use for examples. There we go. I don't know if that's even going to come out. Didn't cut all the way through, and I didn't think to check it beforehand. Let's see if I can get this out. So it is easier to paint if you take your middle pieces out first. There we go. I think I can get them all out. All right, so that's going to be easier to paint that way with those out of the frame. So one of the things that you can do with your pumpkin is leave these pieces out. Okay, so you could just paint this pumpkin frame and then glue that down on your board. So that would be one option. You don't even have to have the center pieces, okay? Or you could use the center pieces and paint them 2 different colors, and you can always do the leopard. So what we did was we painted all of these pieces ivory, like we did the top of the round circle, So I'm just going to imitate our example, but you can get as creative as you want. So notice when I'm trying not to paint the sides, the laser cut sides, I usually brush towards the edge, which eliminates a lot of this paint dripping over the side. So if you just go straight down, you're going to get a lot of paint here on the side. But if you don't load your brush too much and you just brush toward the outside, look at that, pretty clean, right? So that's how you want to do it if you are leaving those laser edges dark. And if you do get some leak over the sides, baby wipes work miracles. So as long as you wipe it when it's wet with a baby wipe, it will be perfect. Hey Karen, how are you? Barely awake. Yes, you know, I feel you there. I couldn't sleep last night and I had a hard time getting motivated this morning. But you're on a different time zone, I think, than we are, aren't you? What time is it where you're at? Hey Rosemary. All right, so again, just painting away from the edges on all these pieces. Always keep baby wipes close by. Those seem to be little magic miracles for painting. Use baby wipes a lot, not only for some painting techniques that we like, but also for mistakes. Yeah, I really struggled with the colors on this pumpkin just because there's so many different ways to paint it that would be so cute. So definitely, by all means, go your own way if you'd like to use your own paints instead of what came in the kits. You can, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, this ivory is probably going to need a second coat. So even though I'm going to put leopard print over this, the ivory is really light, so. Now on this particular kit, as far as the dark edges, it doesn't matter so much about you getting paint on the edges because you're not going to be able to see it once you put it in the frame. However, when you're working with these 3D pieces that fit inside of another piece of wood, if you get a lot of paint on the edges, they're not going to fit the same way. So the more paint that you get on the edges, the less likely it is to fit inside this frame when you're ready to put it together. So you do want to be careful about that, even if you cannot see the edges and the sides. But for like our tier tray club and things like that, you can see those sides, so you just want to be real careful. Use a small brush and paint towards the edges. All right, so I think what we did on the frame is we painted it the rose gold. So let's go ahead and get the rose gold out. This is just Folk Art Metallic. And I just love the color, but I just don't use it very often. This one's not even open. Let me get it open. Thought I had one open, but apparently I did not grab that one. All right. If you are in our groups, this is the last couple days to get in on July Bingo. So we have we have a game running in our group. We do this every month. You get entries for prizes. I don't think that's rinsed out at all, actually. I'm picking up some green. Hold on. Let me move these letters out of the way. All right, so I just have my angled brush again, and I'm just going right over the sides. 4th of July bingo is in the Craft Kit group. Last 2 days to get entries for that. Make sure to join that group. It's free if you're not already. We do a free class in there each month. And it's a place for you to post your finished kits so everyone can love them. This does not show up super bright, but it is a metallic. Looks good in person, and once it gets up against that ivory, those ivory centers, it'll stand out. It has been a busy week because we are trying to take a break before school starts. So a few days with the family, little trip. And it's like, sometimes it feels like it's not worth going on vacation because there's just so much work that has to be done ahead of time. And then so much work when you get back, right? I really enjoy the break, but before and after is a bit stressful. Again, you want to be careful about getting a lot of paint on the inside of these as well, just because we need those other pieces to fit inside of it. So if you're just using the frame, not so much of a, not a big deal, but I think one of my favorite color combinations for pumpkins is probably like a sage green and ivory. I don't know, I have a thing for those two colors. Hi Jen, welcome. How are you doing? So one of our new, we have a new stacked pumpkin kit that stands on its own. And I think I'm gonna do one in sage green and ivory. And honestly, I'm thinking of maybe having a competition in the Craft Kit group to see like all the different ways people paint, and then vote on like the favorite for a prize, because there's just so much creativity that can go into these stacked pumpkins. I can't wait for y'all to see them. Our new kits, we'll be putting out new kits next week, so yeah, I'm glad you caught it too. Are you off work today? Hi Pat, how are you doing? Happy Friday. It's the weekend. Made it through another crazy week, right? Alright. Okay, I'm just doing a little spot touching to make sure everything's covered. Good. That's nice, Jen. Get a Friday off. Do you work the weekends, or do you have all weekend off? It's a pretty day here. It'd be a good day to have off around here. I'm sure it's gonna get super hot, but right now it's really nice. I think I'm done with that. So I'm going to do one more quick coat on my pumpkin, just because it's ivory and they need another coat for sure. And then I'm going to go back to my round door hanger and do the center part. It looks like it's almost dry, so we are getting there. And I just put rose gold on my ivory. All right, so one more coat of the ivory on the center pieces. get some more. It takes a lot. I know some of you are in Creative Outlet, and we've already shipped the August box. It went out early, and so I guess some of our locals will probably be getting them today. I can't wait for y'all to see it. It's such a packed box. It's gonna be so fun. There was a lot of tedious prep work, so I might have been ready to fire whoever planned that box. Yeah, that was me. But I think all that tedious work is going to be worth it, so. I still haven't decided what our BOGO options for August are going to be. I guess we'll see next week. Right now we're just gathering all our new kits and getting them together to be posted. Like I said, I'll be we're taking a short vacation, so it'll probably be the end of next week before everything's switched over. But we are going to open up all our past fall kits, so everything that we've had before, and then we've got lots of new ones to add to the mix. Okay, so we just want that to dry before adding the leopard prints. And like I said, if you've got the leopard print pumpkin, your pieces look like this. They have the spots already etched into the wood to make it easy for you to do the leopard spots. Let's go back to this round door hanger. Move all this out of the way. Alright, so it is mostly dry. I think we're good to go ahead and paint that center row. Make room for it again. Alright, so we used frog tape in the middle. We're just going to go ahead and peel that off. Look at those lines. Aren't they nice? Yeah, see, I don't ever get that with the blue painter's tape. That's why I really like the green frog tape. It's just perfect. See how clean that is? Much cleaner than trying to do that by hand. Now, if you're going to use it on your painted pieces, you just want to make sure that they're super, super dry. I'm going to try it. Normally, I would let this dry a lot longer before I put tape on top of my painted part. Actually, I'm just going to get a new piece. But I want to see if we can make this work here. Hopefully it doesn't pull my paint up. If it hasn't dried long enough, it will do that. Just beware. Looks like it's going to be okay. All right, there's that. So to start, I just put the tape on the inside of the space that I had marked off, and now I'm putting it on the outside, right along the edge of the brown paint. Okay. Alright, and rose gold is what we painted the example with. Let me find another big brush. Pretty. probably will do one more coat of the rose gold after this dries. All right, let's let that dry and then we'll decide if we need another coat of paint. So for the leopard spots, we need, and I forgot to grab, like a tan color. I'm not sure this is, well, looks like this is what I have, so that's what I'm going to use. But like a khaki color is normally what I would use, but this is a little bit darker. I think it'd be fine. You just want a contrast between the center of your spots and the what am I trying to say? The center spots and then the outside spot. So I'll just show you, if you have the etched door hanger, this would already be paint. You would paint right over this with your ivory, and then just get a small brush. Let me find one I like here. It's gonna have to be pretty small. Let's see. And what you're gonna do is take your like beige or khaki color, and you'll go ahead and fill in all of these spots. So again, they're etched onto your wood. You can see them. It's no guessing game here. Okay, so you don't have to be perfect. Just use them as a guide and just fill in each one of those spots. I am going to do this just freehand on the one I'm painting today, but it's still a little wet, and I do not want to do this while it's still wet. So you want to make sure that your ivory base dries really good before you add your leopard print. So this is just a real rough inside the lines. Base coat of the khaki color. And then once you get that done, then you will just go back around it with dark brown. And I use the same brown that I mixed for the letters and the bottom of the door hanger. All right, so you'll just do that on all your pieces. Okay, so with that khaki color, I'm just gonna kind of freehand these because this is a plain pumpkin, so you do not have the etching. You could do polka dots, you could do a chevron pattern, you could just paint it solid. So whatever you want to do with the plain pumpkin. If you change your mind and decide you wanted to do the leopard, you can just do what I'm doing right now with some random squiggly lines like this. So they're not perfect circles. You just kind of do some squiggles. Make sure you take them off the edge of the piece. You don't want it to look like it's all confined to the center here. So take some of them off the side of the piece. So I just kind of, shake my brush as I'm painting to get those rough center edges. I tend to get a little carried away with my leopard prints. That's why I like having the etching, because it keeps my spots in check. I'll go crazy with them. Leopard prints are so fun. We did a Santa class last year with Santa had a leopard hat. Oh, it was so cute. Just getting excited about the holidays coming up. Those of you that got the kit, are y'all doing the plain or the leopard? Who's doing what? Whoops, I picked up some of that dark brown. That's all right. Now sometimes you light colors, the leopard spots will probably need a little bit of a touch up, like a second coat, just in those centers where they're super light. Put one right here. These are so fun. I'm surprised y'all don't see way more leopard print on things that we make, because I really like to paint them. I don't think I was ever like much of a leopard print fan until I started painting it, and then I was like, oh, I really like this. This is fun. Alright, so if you want, you can kind of go back and touch up some of those centers where you can see the ivory through. If it's super wet, it won't cover. You want it to dry before you go back over it. And I'm not painting the whole thing again. I'm just kind of touching up the lightest spots. Anybody got any weekend plans? Any crafting happening this weekend? Whoops. Stuck my finger right in that one. Almost done with that part. This can be a little bit tedious. Okay, so that's if you're doing the leopard print. You want to go ahead and get those middle parts on with the light brown. I'm going to check this round real quick and see about doing another coat of the rose gold. So I'm just going to go back over it one more time, and then we will be done with this part of the project. So we'll be ready to paint. Not paint, we'll be ready to glue. Whoops, my tape came off, so I'm gonna have to be careful there. Yeah, not as much fun doing it freehand. There we go. Now we can go ahead and take this off. There, see, it did not pull my paint off, so we're good. One little spot where I ripped the paint here, so I'll go back and fix that later. Where I ripped the tape, sorry. Okay, the last thing that we need to do is just add our dark brown to the outside of our leopard spots. So just same small brush. I'm gonna use the same one that I had the light brown that I used for the light brown. And I'm gonna dip in that same brown paint that I painted the door hanger with. And we're gonna do squiggly lines around the outside, and you're not gonna go around the whole thing. So you just kind of halfway cover whoops, just kind of halfway cover it. So you don't want to circle the whole thing. You just want to make a mark. And you do want to make sure it's dry. Mine's still a little bit wet, so it's gonna give me a little trouble here. And you just want to go different. So don't do all the same side all the way down. You just want to kind of mix it up a little bit. So I'm doing the top of this one. I might do the bottom of this one. And again, you're not circling the whole thing, just about 3/4 of the way around each one of the circles. We'll just do that with all of our little leopard spots. I'm not loving this brush. I might get a small pointed brush for this. There we go. That's better. So this, again, these spots are really irregular, so you just want to kind of shake your brush as you go around for squiggly circles. About 3/4 of the way. There's that one. This is the fun part. Yeah, we're gonna be traveling this weekend, and I feel like maybe everybody is traveling, because when we were trying to find somewhere to go, everything was kind of booked out. It was not easy to find a place. Is anybody else traveling this summer, this weekend? Summer's almost over, but there must still be people out and about, because the booking rates, like even on Airbnb and stuff, is pretty full. So the good thing about this outer dark spot is spots we will not have to do a second coat. We're going to be done and ready to glue. Last one. The etching on the leopard kit does make it easier, but you can see these are really easy to do freehand too. It's not something that you necessarily have to have the lines for. Okay, there we go. So our leopard part is done. Actually, we're done painting, so I'm gonna go ahead and rinse all my brushes. I tend to pile them up and have a collection as I paint. Okay. Now is like the puzzle. We gotta put it all together. So I always think of when I'm putting together these 3D door hangers, it's like a puzzle. One thing to have handy is a set of tweezers, especially when we're working with small pieces like I have taped here, because my fingers do not like to work the way I want them to on these small pieces. So let's see, let me remember how this goes here. I think so the angles on the bottom of these L's are just right to fit over the fall. So you want to have that just right. The E should fit right up against it too. That doesn't look right, they're too close together. I have to stand up, I'm having a hard time seeing at this angle. Okay. Now, see how good, this still looks good even with the middle pieces out. So you could easily just leave the middle pieces out of this. I'm gonna move this over some. Actually, this needs to be moved over. We gotta put our, so this stem fits perfectly right on top of that. And then we have our little leaves. You can really put these wherever you want. You can put them down there, you can put them up here. Let me stand up so I can see here. All right, so I know the bottom of this E fits up against the F. And then we should have you want to line up the top of the L with the E. And then the other L. Just make sure that they line up at the top. And the O. As far as these go, I'm gonna get my tweezers and show you how they go. If I can remember. It's been a while since I've done this one. We'll figure it out. Give me a second. There we go. Okay, so this little L-shaped one goes inside the F like this. Okay. And then this one, I'm trying to remember. Seriously don't remember how I did this before. That doesn't look right. I know this one is the E. So this little bitty piece is the E. Is right there. Actually, oh man, maybe because I did this in the morning. So usually we do these BOGOs at night. All my live classes at night because I am not a morning person. let's see. Something is not right with this L. I'm gonna have to figure out how we did that there. Okay, so anyways, I will post the picture and show you once I get this figured out. They may even go over here, actually. I don't know. Let's see. We're gonna play around with it. Yeah, that's probably more likely the case. Right? I don't remember the example. Okay, I think this is probably going to work out much better. So let's use the other two L's. There we go. Now the H goes in between the F and the L. Okay, got it. Finally got my brain working. Anyways, when you go to glue these, the best way to do it is to, let me find, I use like a palette knife or a plastic knife. And you don't want to put a lot of glue on the bottoms because once they ooze out and show up on your board, that's where they're going to stay. So these palette knives we use for painting, I also use for glue. And what I would do is put just a little bit right on the you can use a plastic knife or a palette knife. And then you're just going to kind of smooth it like peanut butter on the back of that wood piece. And make sure there's no excess, because if there's any that's going to ooze over the sides here, it's going to show on your board and you're not going to like it when you're done, okay? And then make sure you don't drop it down until you have it where you want it, okay? Because if you slide it around, you're going to have those glue marks from that E6000 on there. So I can't get mine open. I'm not going to do it right now, but I will do it and post a picture. Okay, now these are almost dry. So see, they all fit really good as long as you don't have a bunch of excess paint on your sides. And this one needs to be sanded down. Remember, this one didn't cut right, so it's got a bit of wood from where I tore it. There we go. Alright, there we go. So all that's left is just glue. So glue with a plastic knife or something, or even a Q-tip. You can use a Q-tip to rub the glue on the back and then stick it down. Okay, but this is our full-size door hanger kit, 18 inches, still on the website, holyrustic.com. You can order one and paint for yourself. And once I get this all glued down, you could put a so we send twine with the kits, but you could also do a bow. A bow would look really cute at the top of this door hanger, so you could do that on your own. All right, well, thank you for joining me for our July BOGO Hello Fall Pumpkin door hanger kit. And make sure to post your finished ones inside our free craft kit group because we love to see your finished kits. Otherwise, you'll have a great weekend. Bye.